Hello and welcome to another daily inspiration by turbomind.com. Today we are going to read from the excellent book The 1 Minute Millionaire by Mark Victor Hansen, author of the international best-selling Chicken Soup series, over 60 million copies sold, and Robert Allen. And we are going to read about persuasion and how to be persuasive, some tips. It is from page 232, Persuasion. The person who chooses to master the skill of persuasion can positively affect millions around the world. You are such a person, or you wouldn't be reading this book. Master teachers and leaders have always used storytelling to effectively communicate their point of view and illustrate their arguments. Stories paint an irresistible, compelling word picture that communicates heart to heart and soul to soul. In a story, context is everything. Consider the following archetypal scenario. Two associate pastors are seeking the permission of the senior pastor and ask essentially the same question in different ways, again totally different answers. Associate pastor number 1 request: "May I eat when I am praying?" The senior pastor responds, "No, that would be a sacrilege of the highest order, absolutely not." A few hours later, the second associate pastor asks, "May I pray while I am eating?" The senior pastor responds, "Of course, you are to pray without ceasing. Without ceasing, as the Apostle Paul said. So by all means, keep praying." Both pastors were asking to do the same thing, eat and pray at the same time. Yet one gets a yes, the other receives a no. The only difference is the context of the question. One asks the question of eating in the context of praying. In that context, eating detracts from praying. The other asks the question in the context of eating. He got a yes because praying adds to the context of eating. The most persuasive individuals are careful to present questions in a context that is more likely to get a favorable response. Another persuasive tool is the rhetorical question. It presumes the answers by the way the question is asked, like, "You do want to be a millionaire, don't you?" If so, subtly stimulates the listener to agreement, especially if the persuader is gentle, nodding his or her head up and down and smiling to obtain consent. Messages on the wings of humor are also very powerful. For example, in the Douglas-Lincoln presidential debate, Douglas called Lincoln two-faced. Lincoln, in his rebuttal, gentle smile, chortled and said to the audience, "Ladies and gentlemen, if I had two faces, do you think I would be wearing this one?" Insightful, self-deprecating humor helped honest A become president. As president, Lincoln persuaded America that slavery was wrong, immoral, and that it had to be abolished. His persuasive communication and deep conviction that slavery was bad for the Union made way for the Emancipation Proclamation that abolished slavery. Management consultant Marshall Thumber says his 3 secrets to persuasion are brightness, darkness, and frequency. Paint bright word pictures that describe the positive, exciting future that awaits if a person follows your recommended course of action. Paint dark word pictures that describes the gloomy and frightening future that awaits if a person doesn't follow your recommendations. You then repeat the message like advertising does, again and again, until your audience gets it and automatically does what you have suggested. Very interesting. Reading again from the book The 1 Minute Millionaire by Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen. Very interesting persuasion tips. How you can describe a bright, colorful future if the person does what you are suggesting, and how you can use words that describe a dark and says a dark and frightening future. If you can go to turbomind.com and register to a newsletter, or simply go to youtube.com and subscribe to this podcast. Have an extraordinary and a prosperous day every day.